Sony has announced that the PlayStation 5, which is indeed the official name of its next-gen console, will be releasing in the holiday season of 2020. Along with featuring a new solid-state drive for improved loading times, it'll also support hardware-based ray tracing. Lead architect Mark Cerny specifically confirmed that this was ray tracing acceleration in the GPU hardware and not a software-level fix. In a new story by Wired, it was also revealed that the console's dev kit is already in the hands of developers, along with the new DualShock controller. Games will be installed on the SSD, but the overall process will be different from the PS4. Cerny stated, "Rather than treating games like a big block of data, we're allowing finer-grained access to the data." The publication speculates that this could only mean installing the portions of the game that you want, like multiplayer only, or deleting the single-player portion of the game once it's finished. The user interface is being revamped as well to include details on multiplayer activities that can be joined at any given time. Cerny says, "Even though it'll be fairly fast to boot games, we don't want the player to have to boot the game, see what's up, boot the game, see what's up." Multiplayer game servers will provide the console with the set of joinable activities in real time. Single-player games will provide information like what missions you could do and what rewards you might receive for completing them, and all of these choices will be visible in the UI. As a player, you just jump right into whatever you like. Through that Wired piece, interesting information on the PS5's controller has also come to light. For starters, though most of us are assuming that the controller will be called the DualShock 5, Sony have yet to confirm an official name for it. More importantly than the name, though, is what's inside the controller and what innovations it'll bring to the table, and there's definitely some interesting stuff to look forward to. Sony is making two key innovations with the PS5's controller. The first of these is adaptive triggers, which will see both triggers on the controller, the L2 and R2 buttons, offering varying degrees of resistance based on the context of gameplay. Over on the official PlayStation blog, Ryan describes it as follows, quote, "Developers can program the resistance of triggers so that you feel the tactile sensation of drawing a bow and arrow or accelerating an off-road vehicle through rocky terrain." The second of the two innovations is haptic feedback, replacing the rumble we've had in console gamepads for years. The PS5 controller will boast, quote, "highly programmable voice coil actuators" in its left and right grips, which will allow the controller to give players a broader range of feedback depending on what's going on in the game. Ryan wrote on the PlayStation blog, quote, "Crashing into a wall in a race car feels much different than making a tackle on a football field. You can even get a sense of the variety of textures when running through fields of grass or plodding through mud." Meanwhile, the Wired article also confirms that the PS5 controller will have an improved speaker as well. According to Ryan, all of these improvements have the potential to combine to produce a powerful experience that better simulates various actions. Ryan also confirms that developers across the industry have also received early versions of the controller to work with for game development. Game creators have started to receive early versions of the new controller, and we can't wait to see where their imagination goes with these new features at their disposal, he writes. However, it seems that one aspect of the console is still in development: backwards compatibility. Earlier this year, lead architect Mark Cerny noted that the PS5 would be backwards compatible with PS4 games. However, Sony recently told Famitsu that our development team is currently hard at work in order to make 100% backward compatibility with PS4 possible. Please wait for further information. This means that not every PS4 game will be playable on the PS5. It's not the strangest thing, especially when you consider how long it took to get backwards compatibility on the Xbox One for Xbox 360 and OG Xbox games. It's no secret that Sony are big fans of virtual reality, and that even though a PSVR 2 headset won't launch alongside the PS5, the console will continue supporting VR nonetheless. And it's also safe to assume that there will eventually be a PSVR 2. And a new patent via Let's Go Digital filed by Sony may have clued us into the sort of improvements that we can expect to see in it. The patent mentions a headset with two cameras on the front and one in the rear, while a PS Move style controller also comes with a camera of its own. The front-facing cameras on the headset are particularly interesting because the patent mentions that they'll enable something called transparent view. These cameras will allow players to see their surroundings through the headset, with each camera projecting an image to each eye, creating a stereoscopic 3D effect. These cameras can also work for augmented reality purposes. Meanwhile, an additional external camera, like the PlayStation camera that the current PSVR headset uses, can also be used. Finally, it also seems like Sony is targeting wireless headsets for the next generation of PSVR, as one might expect. The patent mentions headsets receiving and sending data via Bluetooth and having their own power supply. Of course, as is the case with any patent, there's no guarantees that this will lead to an actual product. Companies protect their tech with patents all the time, and not all of them always materialize as actual products. Still, the improvements here seem very much in line with what would be expected improvements, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them all being used in the PSVR 2, whenever it comes out. Overall, it's all sounding pretty good. Now we just have to wait for an official reveal of the console in the coming months. Rumors state that a PlayStation meeting will be held in February 2020, so perhaps that's the time. Stay tuned for more details until then. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.